Hello and welcome to Title Talk. I'm Karen Hamstra and it's Monday, April 8th, 2019, and let's look at some new books. Something Red, Something Dead by Ava Gates. This is a lighthouse library mystery, and it looks like there's a library that's in a lighthouse in this book. It says, dark deeds in the lighthouse threaten to send Lucy Richardson's soon-to-be-wed cousin Josie to an early death do us part. This takes place on North Carolina's Outer Banks, if you like to read about that part of the country. And I do want to give you just a quick commercial. Book page, the new April edition is in. Alexander McCall Smith is featured on the front cover. He has a new series coming out that's a Scandinavian, instead of Scandinavian noir, he calls it Scandinavian blanche, kind of a light version of Scandinavian mystery books. And this particular book page has over 79 new books written in it and written about in it. You can find those right inside the front door of the library. Glory Road by Lauren K. Denton. The only thing certain is change, even in a place as steady as Perry, Alabama, on a street as old as Glory Road. Nearly a decade after her husband's affair drove her back home to South Alabama, Jessie McBride has the stable life she wants, operating her garden shop next door to her house on Glory Road. The Perfect Girlfriend by Karen Hamilton. She'll stop at nothing to be the perfect girlfriend. And we have Fall Back Down When I Die, a novel by Jo Wilkins. Following in the literary roots of Montanans Jim Harrison and Rick Bass, Wilkins packs a lot of story and style wallop into this gripping, outstanding novel. And it is a new Western. I know some of you really like Westerns. We don't get terribly many of them, but there's a new one. Bones of the Earth. I believe we featured that one last week, so we'll just remind you about that good book. Ann Beatty has a new one, A Wonderful Stroke of Luck. A razor-sharp, deeply felt new novel, the 21st book by Ann Beatty, about the complicated relationship between a charismatic teacher and his students, and the secrets we love to keep. Lights All Night Long, a novel by Lydia Fitzpatrick. 15-year-old Ilya arrives in Louisiana from his native Russia for what should be the adventure of his life, a year in America as an exchange student. The abundance of this new world, the super Walmarts and heated pools and enormous televisions, is hard to fathom, as is the relentless cheerfulness of his host parents. And Sadie, their beautiful and enigmatic daughter, has miraculously taken an interest in him. But all's not right in Ilya's world. He's consumed by the fate of his older brother, Vladimir, the magnetic rebel to Ilya's dutiful wunderkind back in their tiny Russian hometown. Vladimir has disappeared into the town's seedy, drug-plagued underworld, and just before Ilya left for his year in America, the murders of 3 young women rocked the town's usual calm, and Vladimir found himself in prison. Lights, Camera, Puzzles, Parnell Hall. You may know him as the puzzle guy. He writes a lot of mysteries, and they always feature some sort of puzzle. This is a new novel in the ever-popular series that finds the puzzle lady on the set of a movie about her own life, and when the first dead body shows up on set, it comes with a crossword puzzle. It's murder on the movie set. Lights, Camera, Puzzles, Parnell Hall. J.A. Jance has a new one called The A-List. This is a Allie Reynolds book. I couldn't think of her name. This is more than 10 years after the abrupt end of Allie's broadcasting career, and she's made a good life for herself in Sedona, Arizona. She has a new house, a new husband, and a flourishing cybersecurity company called High Noon Enterprises. And there's always a fly in the ointment, don't you know? The death of an old friend brings Allie back to the last story she ever reported, a feel-good human interest piece about a young man in need of a kidney to save his life, which quickly spiraled into a medical mismanagement scandal that landed a prestigious local doctor in prison. And that doctor has never forgiven Allie for landing him there. Save Me from Dangerous Men, S.A. Lelchuk. This is part Elizabeth Salander, part Jessica Jones. Nikki Griffin is on a mission to right the world's wrongs. She loves books. They provide refuge and comfort from her tragic past. But Nikki isn't a typical bookseller. In her office above her bookstore, she takes jobs as a private investigator. She also tracks certain men, dangerous men, men who have hurt the women they claim to love. Save Me from Dangerous Men, S.A. Lelchuk. This is a reprint of a very famous older mystery, The Dutch Shoe Mystery by Ellery Queen. When millionaire and philanthropist Abigail Dorn falls into a coma, she is taken to the hospital she funds for an emergency operation at the hands of her protege, one of the leading surgeons on the East Coast. Her friends and family flock to the scene, anxious to hear the outcome. Also in attendance is mystery writer and amateur detective Ellery Queen, invited by a member of the house staff. She's covered in a sheet and wheeled into the operating theater, but when the sheet is pulled back, it reveals a grim display. The garroted corpse of the patient murdered before the chance at survival. Who among the attendees was ruthless enough to carry out this gruesome task? As the list of suspects grows and the murders continue, it's up to Ellery Queen and his most perceptive readers, that's you, to uncover the clues and find out. So Ellery Queen was a pen name created and shared by two cousins, Frederick Dene and Manfred B. Lee, as well as the name of their most famous detective. The duo spent 42 years writing the greatest puzzle mysteries of their time, gaining them a reputation as the foremost American authors of the Golden Age fair play mystery, The Dutch Shoe Mystery. And then just a couple of nonfiction books. We have a new one called In the Footsteps of King David. This is Revelations from an Ancient Biblical City by Joseph Garfinkel, Sar Ganor, and Michael G. Hassel. King David is a pivotal figure in the Bible, yet no certain archaeological finds from the period of his reign or of the kingdom he ruled over have been discovered until now. This highly readable first-hand account of the groundbreaking discoveries at Khirbet Qeiyafa, I bet that's not how it's pronounced, but that's my best try at it, in Israel sheds new light on biblical history and the origins of Hebrew, as well as forming a unique meeting point between the mythology, history, historiography, and archaeology of King David. And this book may be found on the new bookshelves at 933.44 GAR for Garfinkel. And last but not least, we have Quilts with an Angle. It's a field guide to quilts. It has 15 projects with triangles, hexagons, diamonds, and more. And there's a new foolproof grid method and easy strip cutting. And this book is by Sheila Christensen. And of course, it has lots of nice pictures of quilts in it. And I would love to find one to show you. Here we go. A very nice looking quilt of the sort you can make if you check out this book, which can be located on the new bookshelf at 746.46 CHR for Christensen. Happy reading. Talk to you next week.